Again, that is First Samuel chapter 1, verses 1 through 7. And then I'm going to skip down to verse 13. And it reads, Now there was a certain man, a Ramathaim Zophim, of Mount Ephraim, and his name was Elkanah, the son of Jehoram, the son of Elihu, the son of Tohu, the son of Zoph, an Ephraimite. So basically, it's just giving his lineage, just telling who his grandfather was, his great grandfather was, and his great grandfather was. So that's basically all that's happening here. And he had two wives. Somebody can pause right there and just say, God bless his life. Come on here. He had two wives. I'm sure our husbands can relate to that. God bless his life if he had two of them. He had two wives. The name of one was Hannah, and the name of the other was Peninah. And Peninnah had children, but Hannah had no children. And this man went up out of his city yearly to worship and to sacrifice unto the Lord of hosts in Shiloh. And the two sons of Eli, Hophni and Phinehas, the priests of the Lord, were there. And when the time was that Elkanah offered, he gave to Peninnah his wife and to all of her sons and her daughters portions. But to Hannah he gave a worthy portion, for he loved Hannah, but the Lord had shut up her womb. And her adversary also provoked her sore, talking about Peninnah, provoked her sore, for to make her fret, because the Lord had shut up her womb. And as he did year by year, when she went up to the house of the Lord, so she provoked her. Therefore, she wept and did not eat. So basically, what that is saying is that every year when they would go up to Shiloh to worship, that would be the time that Peninnah would choose to pick or to taunt at Hannah. She did it every year when they would go up to worship. Then said Elkanah, her husband, to her, Hannah, why weepest thou? And why eateth thou not? And why is thy heart grieved? Am I not better to thee than 10 sons? So Hannah rose up after they had eaten in Shiloh, and after they had drunk. Now Eli the priest sat upon the seat by the post of the temple of the Lord. I'm going to skip because I read too many. I'm going to skip to verse 13. Now Hannah, she spoke in her heart. Only her lips moved, but her voice was not heard. Therefore, Eli thought she had been drunken. So basically, she went to the temple and she went to go pray. And if I could just use for a subject today, I would like to use, what did Peninnah make you do? What did Peninnah make you do? And we read in the scripture that Elkanah had two wives. One of them was named Hannah and the other was named Peninnah. Polygamy was common, but it was not biblical. And just because we like to do it or we choose to do it does not make it God approved. Come on, did somebody just catch that? Because we like to do it or because we choose to do it does not make it God approved. But Peninnah had children and Hannah didn't. So you can conclude from that was not going to work well. But every year, Elkanah would go up to Shiloh to worship and sacrifice unto the Lord. And there he would give portions to his wives and children. Though Hannah had no children, she received double portion. Hannah not only had Elkanah's heart, but he loved her more than he had loved Peninnah. But Peninnah had something that Hannah didn't have. And Hannah had something that Peninnah didn't have. And it would basically come down to which one was more valuable. Peninnah had children, but Hannah had favor. Oh, come on, did somebody just catch that? Peninnah had children, but Hannah had favor. Yeah, they got the job, they got the position, but you got favor. They got the man, the house, the car, the kids, and the dog. but you got favor. Can somebody just type that over in the chat section? I got favor. And favor is important because what favor will do is favor will drop the dis in advantage and make it work for your good. I don't know if anybody just caught that, but that's what favor will do. Favor will make your disadvantage turn into your advantage and work for your good. The favor of God will turn your pain into your promise. And Hannah was favored, but Peninah was strategic. And the Bible says that every year when they would go up to the place of worship, whenever they would go up into Shiloh, that would be the specific place and time that Peninnah would choose to torment Hannah. It was not at the house when it was just them. It wasn't at the kid's birthday party. It wasn't even at anniversary time. It was right in the time and place that her mind was set on going to worship the Lord. It was at church. Come on. Has anybody ever experienced something at church? It was at church. The enemy is strategic, not only in his timing of attacks, but he's also strategic in the places that he will launch his attack. I need to say that again for somebody. The enemy is strategic, not only in the timing of his attacks, but he is also strategic in the places that he will launch his attack. The enemy does not wait until you have a buku of money or to when you have a lot of money in your account to attack you with bills and things like that, or the thoughts of how you're going to do that. But the enemy waits right until your back is up against the wall, because he's not going to have you to question God when your bank account is full of money. But right when it starts to get low, can anybody relate to that? When it starts to get low, then I have all of these thoughts just bombarding my mind. They're attacking my mind. I'm wondering if God, I'm wondering, can God, I'm wondering, will God do it for me? And I'm dealing with all of these things. So I want to serve notice on you right there. The enemy is very strategic in his attack. The enemy knows something about location, and I need for you to hear this. The enemy knows something about location and timing, that if we miss it, we will miss it. Ooh, did somebody just catch that? The enemy knows something about timing and location, that if we miss it, we will miss it. Okay, some things were designed to get you relocated so you can miss the timing of God. Let me explain that to you. So if God tells you to be on Spiritual Street at 12:45 p.m., you can best believe that the enemy is going to show you an attraction on Flesh Drive at 12:40. Did somebody just catch that? If he can get you distracted on Flesh Drive at 12:40 long enough, then he can make you miss your 12:45 delivery. And watch this. The distraction will always come when it's close to delivery time. Ooh, can somebody relate to that? The distraction will always come right when it's close to your delivery time. So you got to learn how to make sure that you don't let the distractions make you miss your delivery time, because they come close up in there together. Have you ever just told somebody, I got to make this meeting, I got to go. I know what you're saying might be of some interest to me, maybe not, but I got to go because I got something that I just cannot be late for. I just can't be late for this. I just need for somebody to type that over in the chat section. I just can't be late for this one. I can't be late for this. You will be thinking, and because you made that pit stop on Flesh Drive, you will be thinking that God didn't do what he said, when in all actuality, you just wasn't on time. You just wasn't there for the actual delivery. But Hannah, even though she was tormented I need for y'all to catch this. The Bible says that year after year, she was tormented at a specific place, at a specific time. It happened every year. Can you imagine the frustration that had began to set in, the anger that had begun to set in? I've been praying. I've been going to the house of the Lord. I've been believing God, but year after year after year, this keeps happening in the same place at the same time by the same person. But Hannah, she was cognizant of time and place despite her pain. I need to say that for you again. Hannah was cognizant, or Hannah was aware of the time and place despite her pain. So she did not let her pain mess with her mind. She did not let her pain get in the way of what she needed to do. She did not let the place of the hurt and pain get in the way. She was hurt, but she did not pin her pain. She did not pin her hurt to the person that the place was supposed to represent. I hope somebody just caught that, because remember, her hurt and pain would happen every year by the same person at church. But Hannah did not pin her hurt, her frustration, and or her pain. She did not tag that to God. Too many times we pin church hurt to God when it was not God. It was a person who misrepresented God in a physical location that was consecrated to represent who he is. Ooh, did somebody just catch that? Okay, Hannah's at church. She's ready to worship God. Here comes Peninnah. I got the children. You ain't got none. Does God really favor you? Is God really listening at you? Does God even really care about you? Can anybody relate to that? I've been coming to church. I've been trying to give God my very best. But at a certain place, at a certain time, every week, the enemy just comes up and tries to torment me. And he tries to make me look at the place that I'm barren in. He's trying to make me look at the place that I can't produce in. I done tried this and I done tried that. I done tried for the house. I ain't got it. I done tried for the car. I can't get it. I done tried for the job. And every time that it comes close to me getting into the place where I'm going to worship God, here comes my Peninnah. Here comes that thing trying to remind me of everything that God ain't manifested in my life yet. And then it makes me start to remember, and I deal with this hurt, and I'm dealing with this pain, and I'm dealing with this frustration, but I'm still taking my hurt, my pain, and my frustration. And she's doing it right at church, the very place that I'm supposed to be healed, the very place that I'm supposed to be encouraged, the very place that I'm supposed to be delivered is happening right in that place. But Hannah did not let Peninnah's misrepresentation, because I need for you to understand everything that comes to church ain't in the church. Can I get some virtual hand waves on that? You need to know that everything that comes to church ain't in the church. Everything that comes to church is not governing their lives by the word of God. So sometimes that can create a misrepresentation of God, because you assume that because they are in the church that they are a representative like you are. But Hannah, she did not let Peninnah's misrepresentation of God stop her. She did not pin that to God. She did not say, God, I ain't coming back because of this. She did not say, God, I'm done with church folks. Anybody ever seen that church hurt? I'm done with that. I'm done with church people. I ain't going back. I got hurt. I ain't going back. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. But with her hurt, she goes and she finds a place that she can go and it just be her and God. Mm. I want to ask you the question, when you got hurt, what did it do? What did you do? Did you stop praying? Did you stop seeking God? What did you do when you got hurt? So when with her hurt, she goes to the tabernacle to pray. But Hannah is hurting so bad. She did not even care that Eli the priest was watching her and that he had assumed that she was drunk. Sometimes you have to want that thing from God so much to the point that you don't care what people think about you. Come on here, did somebody just catch that? You don't care what they think about you. You don't care what they feel about you. You don't care if they secretly record you and post it on their page and tag it as hashtag FYP. LaShawn taught me what that means. That means for your page. Come on here. You don't care because all you know is that there is something that I need from God, and I'm after it. Think what you may, but I need it. Say what you want, I gotta have it. Believe what you want. I'm in the right place with the right person to get it. I don't care. Is there anybody that's got their mind made up? I'm at the point now, I need this thing so bad. I don't care what they think about me. I don't care what they say about me. I'm going to get it. And I know exactly where to go get it. I'm going to that place. I'm not going to let anything stop me from getting it. I'm not going to let what they think about me stop me from getting it. I'm not going to let what they post about me stop me from getting it. And in that day and time, it was a custom that when you went to go pray, you prayed aloud. But Hannah is praying, but her mouth is not moving. Hannah is praying, and there is no sign, there is no sound coming from her mouth. She's talking, but she's talking in silence. Come on here. I'm sure a lot of us ladies know what that's like when we talk in silence. I ain't said nothing, but everything else is talking. Come on here. Can I get some virtual hand waves on that? I ain't said nothing, but you know exactly what I'm saying. My mouth ain't moving. I'm sure the husband can relate to that in a grimsome type of way. They ain't said nothing with their mouth, but they talking. And some of you know what it's like when you're so hurt, when you're so wounded. You got more tears than you do words. Can anybody relate to that? There's been times in my life I've had more tears than I do words. I got more tears than I do words. You can't even get the words out. All you can do is just talk to God out of your heart. And one of the best things for Hannah, but the worstest things for Peninah, was when Hannah was pushed to a place where she could not talk. She was pushed to a place that she could not talk. She could not talk with her mouth, but she prayed from her heart. There are some folks that underestimated your verbal silence. There are some folks that thought that because you didn't say anything that you were scared. They thought you was weak because you didn't say nothing. They thought you was a pushover because you didn't say nothing. Can anybody relate to that? They was wondering, they was waiting on your response. They was waiting on your text. They was waiting on your post. They was waiting on you to shoot out subliminal messages, but you never did. You was talking, but I didn't say nothing. Come on here. Type that over in the chat section. You underestimated what I didn't say. Ooh. You underestimated it because you didn't hear it come out of my mouth. You thought I just laid down and took it because I didn't say nothing. But I was talking. You underestimated what I didn't say to you. But what they didn't know was that you was talking the whole time. Some days with tears rolling down your face, but you was talking. Some days feeling like your Peninah was favored over you, but you were talking. They didn't hear you because you were not talking to them. You were talking to God. Come on here. Can anybody relate to that? You wasn't talking to them. That's why they couldn't hear you. Just because they couldn't hear you don't mean you wasn't talking. They underestimated your silence. They thought that because you didn't post about it, you were scared. They thought because you didn't post about it, that you just laid down and took it. They were more concerned about what you would say in public. But the greater fear should have been what you said to God in private out of your heart. Come on here. I need for somebody to catch that because they were scared of what you was going to say in public. They were scared of what you was going to post. But their greatest fear should have been what you went to God about in private and talked to him out of your heart. Come on here. Again, they thought you laid down and just took it because you didn't publicly address it. You took it all right. You took it straight to the man that you knew could fix it. You took it straight to the man that you believe favors you. You took it to the only one who you knew could fight for you. The only one that could do something about your barrenness, about your hurt, about your pain. You took it to him. I just need for somebody to type it over in the chat section. I took it all right. I took it all right. I took it. I took it straight to God. If that's your testimony, I took it to God. No, I didn't take it to social media. I didn't post it on TikTok. I didn't post it on Facebook. I didn't even send you no late night text. I took it all right. I took it straight. If you know you took it to God, just type it over in the chat section. I took it all right. I took it all right. You underestimated what I didn't say to you, but the real power was not in what I could say to you. The real power was what I said to God. That's where the real power was. It's not in what I was going to say to you. It's not even what I was going to do to you. But the real power came is when I took that thing to God with my tears, feeling like I was sick to the stomach, nauseous. I took it all right. I took it straight to God. But remember, I told you, Peninah was strategic in what she did. She had her timing set up at when she was going to do it and what area she was going to target Hannah in. Do you not know that the enemy already knows what area he's going to target you in? He's strategic in that. I need for somebody to just take their mind down memory lane, and some of us don't have to travel back too far. What area? And ask yourself, what area is the enemy targeting me in? What area keeps coming up over and over and over in my life that he keeps bringing it up? And I know some of y'all might not be movie fanatics, but there is a movie that I've watched with my husband years ago. And does anybody know the movie 8 Mile? And they would go into these rap battles. And basically what was happening, if anybody knows the rapper Eminem, he was battling, you know, he was a Caucasian rapper. And basically what would happen is they would pick at him because he was from the trailer park. And then there was this girl that he was dating, and the girl actually slept with one of the rivals. And so they would, when they would go into battle, and they would start to rap against each other. And it was called the free world. Okay, I have some movie people that's up here helping me. And so they would go there, and that's when they would rap against each other, and they would have their mics, and they would be battling each other. My family probably thinks it's funny because they think I don't watch TV, but I do remember some things. I'm just not a TV person that much. I don't watch a lot of TV. But nevertheless, they would get into this battle. And so basically when Eminem would come out, one of his friends told him, said, you already know what they gonna say. You already know what they gonna say. So basically, in this last battle, Eminem got up and before and he rapped about everything. He knew they was gonna rap about him being from the trailer park. He knew they was gonna rap about him being a white boy. He knew that they was going to rap about what happened, how one of the guys slept with his girlfriend and XYZ and all of this other stuff. And he knew all of that. So basically, what he did was he took that ammunition from them. Come on. And so instead of letting them rap about it, he rapped about it himself. Come on. And so when the guy got up and it was his turn to go up against Eminem, he didn't have anything to say. He stood there just holding the mic. He stood there. Can I unplug this? He stood there just holding the mic. And sometimes you need to get to the point where you just take everything that you know that the enemy is going to try to use against you. And what you need to do is tell him, I already know this is an area. I already know this is an area in my life. I've already dealt with this, and this is going on. Yeah, it really did happen, but God. Come on here. That's what you need to do, but God. I know I'm dealing with this, but God. I know it's in my finances, but God. I know it's in my relationship, but God. I know it's in my health, it's in my children, it's in my marriage, but God. Oh, did somebody just catch that? Sometimes you just need to turn around and do an 8 Mile on it. And make it to where all he can do is just drop the mic. Ain't nothing else he can say. You just need to do an 8 Mile on him sometime. But Hannah, even in this place every year, Hannah still, year after year, this would happen. The torment would happen over and over and over and over and over again. But Hannah did not allow her pain, her frustration, and or her humiliation make her lose focus on what the real issue was. I'm going to show it to you. She could have easily went to God and started praying about Peninnah. Ooh, I need for you to catch that. He could have easily went to God, praying to God about Peninnah. But I'm going to read to you in verse 11 what she did. And she vowed a vow, saying, O Lord of hosts, if thou wilt indeed look on the affliction of thine handmaid, and remember me, and forget not thine handmaid, but will give unto thine handmaid a man child, then I will give unto the Lord I will give him unto the Lord all the days of his life, and there shall no razor come upon his head. I need for you to really look at verse 11. Tell me. Now, Peninnah was the one that was tormenting her. Peninnah was the one that was teasing her. Peninnah was the one that was giving her a hard time. But when she went to God, she did not go to God about Peninnah. Does anybody else see that? Can you see that? Because somewhere in her mind, when she went to God, she knew that Peninnah was not her problem. Woo, did somebody just catch that? The thing that you've been thinking is your problem is not really your problem. Just tap yourself on the head. I had it wrong. I had it wrong. I've been thinking that Peninnah was the problem. But Peninnah was not the problem. Her barrenness was her problem. The thing that she could not produce on her own was her problem. Because watch this. If I get my barrenness fixed, guess what happens to Peninnah? Her mouth has to close. She has to find another area to target me in. Did somebody just catch that? Because if we're not careful, we will be more focused on the person instead of the area that they are targeting. And if we're not careful, we will be going to God about the person instead of what really is ailing us. She said, Lord, this is basically what Hannah did. Hannah said, Lord, if Peninnah has to be this arrow in my life, help me. I need for you to be the target mover. That's basically what she said. She said, if Peninnah is going to be this arrow in my life, I need for you to keep moving the targets that she will target me in. I need for you to be moving the targets. Come on here. Just type it over in the chat section. Lord, move the targets. The area that the enemy has been attacking me in. God, you're the only one that can move these targets. I done tried. I done prayed. I done fasted. Lord, move these targets. Not one time. I need for you to catch this. Not one time did she pray. Did she pray about Peninnah? Look at it and type and talk back to me in the chat section. Tell me where she talked about Peninnah. It's nowhere in there. She said, Lord, fix the areas that is being targeted in my life. So if it's in my womb, God, fix it as only you can. God, if it's in my money, God, fix it as only you can. If it's in my health, God, fix it as only you can. But I told you Hannah was strategic. She was strategic. Because she didn't pray about Peninnah. How many of us have really been praying about our Peninnah? I've been going to God about the person that hurt me. I've been going to God about the person that said what they said. I've been going to God about the person that did what they did. But I never stopped to ask God to move the target. Come on here. I'm asking God to move the target. Because when you ask God to move the target, if you take an arrow that does not have a place to hit, what good is the arrow? Did somebody catch that? If you caught that, give me a virtual hand wave. I caught that, Pastor Fran. I caught that, Pastor Fran. But I want to show you something else that Hannah did. Hannah said, God, I want this. Is that anybody else's confession? God, I want this. I want this. I really want this. I'm not denying that I want it, God. I want it. I'm coming clean before you today. God, I want it. I'm not ungrateful for the things that you have already done in my life. But God, this right here, I want it. I want it. I want it. If that's you, just decree it in your atmosphere. God, I want it. I want it. And she told God, she was talking to God. Hannah was talking to God. And she told God, she said, God, I want it. I want it, God. But I want you to also look at what Hannah told God. In verse 11, she says, God, I want it. And God, I'm believing you for it. But God, I just don't want it for me. I just don't want it for me, God. God, I want it so it can be used for your service. Whew, did somebody catch that? Oh, God. I want it, God. But I just don't want it for me. I want it to be used for your service. Now, some of you have already admitted, I want it, God. Now, I got to take a moment now and ask you, why do you want it? Whew, I just need for you to think about that for a minute. Why do you want it? Have you ever stopped and asked yourself the question, why do you want the husband? Why do you want the wife? Why do you want the business? Why do you want the financial blessing? Why do you want it? Why do you want it? Do you want it just so people can think well of you? Do you want it so you can be at service for the Lord? Or do you just want it so I don't have to be stressed out anymore? Do you want it so people will think a certain way about you? They're going to give you more likes, emojis, hearts, and thumbs up. Is that why you want it? Because if you're struggling to serve God without it, you're at a greater risk of not serving God with it. Oh God, did somebody catch that? Because I need for you to understand, Hannah said, God, I ain't got it. Oh, come on. Hannah said, God, I ain't got it, but I'm here. Hannah said, God, year after year, I didn't get it, but I'm still here. Oh God, did somebody just catch that? I'm still here, God. So I'm letting you know that I'm just not here for the goods. I'm just not here because you give good gifts. God, I've been hurt in this process, but I'm here. I'm here to still tell you thank you. I'm here to still tell you how much I love you. I'm here to still tell you that I'm of service to you. No, I ain't got what I want, but God, I'm still here. I'm showing up every day, and I ain't got it. But I'm showing up every day because I want to let you know that I'm going to serve you with it, or I'm going to serve you without it. Whichever way you choose to go, God, I'm still here for service. Oh, is that anybody else's testimony on today? God, I didn't get it. I know I prayed for it last year and I ain't got it yet, but I'm still here of service. I'm still here of service, Lord. I need for you to get that. It got thrown in her face year after year after year after year. But she still says, Lord, I know you can do it. I know you can do it. God, I not only know you can do it, I know you will do it. So I'm coming back with my brokenness. I'm coming back with my hurt. I'm coming back with my pain. I'm coming back with my frustration because I know you can. I not only know you can, I know you will. And even if you don't choose to do that, God, I'm here. Oh God, is that anybody else's testimony? God, if you choose not to do it, I'm still here. You can still count on me. I'm here. And after Hannah specifically communicated the target area, she told God what she will do with it in verse 11. She said, then I will give him unto you all the days of his life, and no razor shall come upon his head. She said, God, I'm going to dedicate him back to you. Now, the significance of that is, I need for you to follow me on this. The significance of that is that as a Levite, he was already promised to God. He was already considered God's special people. But as a Levite, that dedication, notice what she said. She said, I will give him to you all the days of his life. So watch this. She didn't say, God, I will give it to him. I need for y'all to catch this. She didn't say, God, I will give it to him once you give it to me. She said, God, I'm going to give him to you in embryo stage. Woo! Because life, conception starts in the womb. Oh God, did somebody catch that? Did somebody just catch that to the point where they said, God, I'm not waiting on you to manifest it in my life. I'm going to give it to you now before I even see it. I ain't even got it yet, God, but I'm going to give it to you. Oh my God. She didn't say, God, I'm going to wait until I have him to give him to you. She says, Lord, all the days of his life. So even in my womb, oh God, even in my belief stage, I'm giving it to God. Is that anybody else's testimony? I ain't even got it yet, but in the belief stage of it, I'm going to give it to God while I'm believing him for it. But as a Levite, that dedication, she said, I'm going to give it to him. She said, I'm going to give it all the days of his life. That means even at conception, I'm going to give it to him. But as a Levite, that dedication did not normally happen until it happened between the ages of 30 and 50. And you can find that in Numbers 4, verses 2 and 3. But Hannah said, God, I'm going to dedicate this to you. I'm going to dedicate this to you in a more special way. I have a greater dedication that I would like to give to you. I will give him to you for life. For life. And no razor shall come upon his head. When you prayed for it, and we're getting ready to get closer to closing. When you prayed for it, when you asked God for it, was it for his service? Did you ask God for it so that your image could be upheld in the sight of man? Or did you ask God for it as a representative of him? As a representative of him, that you vowed to use it for his glory. Your Peninnah may be different from someone else's Peninnah. Whoever's next to you on the screen, your Peninnah may be different from their Peninnah. And it may have caused different things than theirs. But the common question that all of our Peninnahs have is, what did your Peninnah make you do? Did your Peninnah draw you closer to God? Or did the hurt and pain put you in a place that you don't seek him like you used to? You don't trust him like you used to. You don't pray to him like you used to. What did your Peninnah make you do? Or did your Peninnah put you in a place where it drew you closer to God? It made you vow a vow to the Lord and say, God, I'll give it to you. I will use it for your glory. I will give it to you all the days of my life. From conception to heavenly transition, I'll use it for your glory. God, I'll use the job for your glory. I'll use the money for your glory. I'll use the influence for your glory. I'll use those things for your glory. God, I'll use the house to pray in, to look at your wonder, to look at where you brought me from. I'll use those things for your glory. God, I won't let anything happen in this house to the best of my ability that will not honor you. Oh, come on here. I will not use the car to go places that I know that you ain't told me to go, and to do things I know you ain't told me to do. I'll use it for your glory. In my closing, I leave you with this question. What did your Peninnah make you do?